Over the years, Naughty Dog have been known for so many great franchises: Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, The Last of Us, and of course Uncharted. Uncharted originally just sort of came out of nowhere during the initial launch of the PlayStation 3, but to much positive acclaim. Skip forward to nearly a decade and Uncharted is now considered one of the best cover-based shooters out there, with each one having an incredible cinematic story behind them to back it all up. With so many different Uncharted games on offer now, it can be a little bit difficult to know which one of them is considered the best of the best. As such, here's a comprehensive list of my personal top 5 best Uncharted games, and all in order, counting down from 5 to 1.
Number 5.
Uncharted Golden Abyss was the only Uncharted game to be released on the PlayStation Vita and was designed to be a story-focused shooter on the handheld to make use of its new and unique gimmicks at the time. In comparison to all the previous Uncharted games, due to its hardware, it isn't a game to me personally that aged all that well, hence its position on my personal list. Despite the fact that it is a handheld title, the gameplay is still what you would have come to learn and expect from the Uncharted series, with the classic platforming and climbing alongside it, with a few additions that crop up because of the touchscreen. Uncharted Golden Abyss actually takes place sometime before Drake's Fortune, the first game in the series, and acts as a sort of prequel to the games. The usual plot revolving around Nathan Drake on the search for some sort of lost treasure, all while getting caught up in mercenary and private armies that are almost always shooting at him, makes a return also. People do like to complain about the PlayStation Vita, but Golden Abyss did what it could to prove just how good of a handheld it truly was, and the game plays just like it would on the console version. Unfortunately, because of the control limitations, it can't get much better than the 5th spot on my personal list.
Number 4.
The third game in the main series aimed to improve where the exceptional Uncharted 2 left off, with improved visual graphics and cinematography, not forgetting the gameplay. While the story isn't quite as well remembered as Uncharted 2, it was a nice sequel to an outstanding cover-based shooter, and even gave the players the chance to get some more backstory on Nathan Drake in his younger years. They even managed to clear up some of the details on how he actually met his best friend Sully. Visually, Naughty Dog's put the PlayStation 3 through its visual paces to get the best out of the game, and easily considered one of the best looking PlayStation 3 games out there, with only The Last of Us taking that particular title. The gameplay was improved, and while Drake's deception managed to get so much right after everything Uncharted 2 brought to the table, it was a tough act to follow, and it made the third game in the series struggle to make a stronger impact on this list, and also a stronger impact on me personally, even though it was a great game.
Number 3.
Moving on to the next generation of consoles, players were finally treated to a brand new Uncharted game after having their fun with the Nathan Drake collection that brought the first 3 games to the new platform. With new, incredible visuals, Uncharted had never looked and played like a movie as much as Uncharted 4 did. Uncharted 4 introduced new characters and followed on from Drake's new life choices as settling down and decided to be a proper family for a change. Considering that this game actually exists, it's kind of clear that Drake couldn't stomach the regular life for far too long and decides to get back into the game for the sake of an important person in his life. In terms of the gameplay, Uncharted 4 is easily one of the smoothest games to play in the Uncharted series, either offline or online. The main story itself is an incredible experience from start to finish, but when deciding to move on to the multiplayer, there's more than enough to keep the average player playing for a little bit longer in full 60 frames per second, something not enough games today can say.
Number 2.
Uncharted Drake's Fortune was the first game in the Uncharted franchise and was the start of a great long-lasting franchise that is still going strong today. The original Uncharted game proved that Naughty Dogs could make a third-person cover-based shooter that had the same level of cinematography that played out like a Hollywood movie. The very first Uncharted created a presence for taking the idea of world-class movies like the Indiana Jones franchise and somehow making them a great, incredible adventure for the players to enjoy in a video game form. Despite all of this time, Uncharted Drake's fortune still manages to introduce the player to a number of characters that quickly became beloved and appreciated throughout the oncoming franchise. Alongside the combination of running, gunning and climbing, the core gameplay of the game was practically perfect in the original and a set of constant that all the future games would proceed to use and constantly improve on.
Number 1.
Many people would agree that the original Uncharted game was a great start to a new and incredible franchise, but the original definitely had its flaws. What exactly did the sequel improve on, however? Well, it's safe to say that Uncharted 2 Among Thieves managed to improve on practically everything in the game. The shooting and platforming became increasingly improved, and the gameplay as a whole was simply made better in every single way that can even manage to stay relevant and enjoyable today, regardless on whether or not you play the original PlayStation 3 release or the PlayStation 4 re-release. Not only was the gameplay an incredibly enjoyable aspect of the game, but the story is widely recognized as the best of the best in the Uncharted series as Nathan Drake goes on the search for a mythical city of Shambhala. The very second the game starts, the game kicks off with a cliffhanger literally to keep the player's interest and won't let it go until the credits start to roll. It's no wonder why Uncharted 2 Among Thieves is the best of the franchise in my personal opinion, and that's why it had to steal my number 1 spot. Anyway peeps, I hope you enjoyed this countdown video. Let me know what your favorite Uncharted game of all time was. I'm not gonna lie, all 5 of the games that I mentioned in this list are exceptional games, so by any of them not obviously sitting in the number 1 spot doesn't actually mean that they're a bad game, because this is definitely one of my favorite franchise games of all time. On purpose, I didn't place Uncharted The Lost Legacy on my list as I just really wanted to stick to the main games with Nathan Drake, but that is also another great game in the series. For those who never got a chance to play it yet, definitely check it out. As always, if you did enjoy this urban gameplay video, be sure to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to the channel before, and until next urban gameplay video, we definitely say peace out, peeps.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more cool